Hi everyone, this is Rebecca from Live Snap Create. Today I'm going to show you how to make some planner stickers with your silhouette so that you can be nice and organized for the new year, or any time of the year for that matter. So let's go ahead and get started. First we're going to go and we're going to open our Silhouette Studio. And that is the program we're going to use because we're going to use the Cameo to actually cut the stickers. And I'm not going to go through the cutting process because I think most of you know about it. If you don't, leave me a comment and I'll help you out. Okay, so Silhouette Studio is up and running, and what we're going to do is we're going to start a brand new project. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is get our paper orientation going. So if you click on the top right hand control thing called Page Setup, and we're going to make it so that it's to our current printer, and we're going to go up and down. And you want to make sure that Show Print Border is selected, okay? So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your computer or your printer is configured properly for Silhouette Studio. So you want to go over here and go over to File, and go all the way down and select Print Page Setup. Now here, it's automatically, every time you open Silhouette Studio, defaults to format for any printer. You want to select your specific printer. I actually have an OfficeJet 7610, which I love. And then you're going to want to choose US letter. And I like to choose US letter borderless because then it gives me more printing space. But if your printer doesn't have that option, by all means just use US letter, and it will. So if you see, my print border has moved, and that's because I used a borderless. So basically I can print edge to edge with this piece of paper. So the next thing we want to do is we want to turn on our registration marks, because you're going to be printing it in the printer and then cutting it on your Cameo. So you select the registration marks, and we're going to go to Style, and you're going to choose whichever one you have. I have a Cameo. Now, these registration marks, the Cameo is going to read, and that's how it's going to know where to cut. So what I like to do is, I feel like this is a lot of wasted space for me. And if you have a printer that can print larger, smaller margins, then you can go ahead and change this. So right under here, under Position Inset, we want to make the Position Inset, this section, bigger. And we're going to make this section smaller. So for some reason, you need to go down on your inset. It would make more sense to go up to me, but I didn't design the software. So what I do is I like to go down to 0.394 is about the max that I'll go down to, because the Silhouette won't register it below that for some reason. So now that we have our page set up, our printer set up, and our registration marks on our paper, we know that we can print and cut anything inside these borders. Okay, so now what we're going to go do is actually make our planner stickers. Now you can do this, you can use any shape you want. For this demonstration, I'm just going to use a rectangle. So I'm going to go over here to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to select rectangle, and then I'm going to draw my rectangle. Now, this is a little big for my planner, so I have a plum paper planner, and you'll see those in the photos. And I have a specific size that I want my sticker to be. You're going to want to measure whatever planner you're using and use whatever size you want. So to change the size, I'm going to change my size to a width of 1.25 up here at the top, 25, and then a height of 0.75, or I'm sorry, 0.25. Now I know that looks small, but on the actual page it's not going to be that small. So now that we have our size of our rectangle, we want to go ahead and design our stickers. So what you're going to do is select the text tool over here, and then if you want to change from this Luciata Grande text, I find it's easier to go over to the right hand side of your Silhouette Studio and select the font menu, and then your text style is going to come up. So I like to use, I like this text called Architect's Daughter, and it was a free text off the internet that I loaded into my computer. So then we're not going to worry about the size right now. We're just going to go ahead and type. So I like to use my planner stickers for keeping my kids' activities scheduled, and really anything that is repetitive, like PTA meetings or volunteer work or going to the gym. Things that you are repetitively writing into your planner, these are what you want to use the planner stickers for. So I'm just going to type, my daughter actually plays lacrosse, so I'm going to type Charlotte, because that's her name. And then I'm going to type, we're going to use the abbreviation for lacrosse, LAX. All right. So now what we want to do is size it to fit. So we're going to grab the corner over here and we're just going to make it smaller. Now at this point, I like to zoom in so that I can be more accurate. So if you go to the top and choose the zoom selection tool and grab your area to zoom to. Now what you want to do is make sure that you go back and click the arrow, or else you're going to start zooming again and you're not going to want that. So now I have my box and my text. And I'm going to grab my text and I'm going to move it over here. And I see that it needs to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller. And that's what I'm going to do. So now here's one of the most important parts of this project. I want you, before you style it, before you add colors, to immediately go and make this text non-cut. So you grab your text and you go over here to the top right corner and you select send. And our text is still highlighted because I can see the box around it, and you want to select no cut. Now the reason for this is because we only want to cut the rectangles. We do not want to cut the text out. And if you skip this step, you're going to stick it into your Silhouette and it's going to start cutting all the text, and you're not going to realize it until you're halfway through the page, and then you're going to have to start over. And when I show you the rest of this process, you don't want to start over because there's a lot of copying going on in this. Okay, so now that our text is no cut, we're going to go back to our design. I'm going to go back in and zoom in again because I like to see what I'm doing. So now the next thing is we want to pick a color for our sticker. So I'm going to select the rectangle and I'm going to go up here to the line color box. My daughter really loves blue, so I'm going to select blue so that I know this is something for her. Then I'm going to go over to the far left and select the fill color. So now we have a completely blue label. You could add in making the line font 0.1, but for this purpose you really don't need to. So now we want to select the color for the text. So you're going to want to select your text. Make sure it gets selected. There, my text is selected. I like to do just white. So for the text though, I am going to change my line weight, but I'm only going to go to 0.5. And the reason is because it is such small text that if you go, I'll make it 1, it's going to start, the letters are going to bleed together. So I like to make my text white. So I'm going to choose a line of white and I'm going to choose a fill of white. Now the reason that I selected the rectangle first to do the color was because if you had done the text white first, then you wouldn't see the text after you made it white. And so it kind of confuses you. All right, so now we have one sticker done. Now, before I group it, I'm going to copy it because I'm going to make these stickers for a lot of different things. So I'm going to go ahead and select both of them. I'm going to do, I guess I'll show you on the computer. I use control keys, but you're going to go to edit and you're going to copy and you're going to select out of it and you're going to go to edit and you're going to go to paste. And there you have created your copy. So for this top one, I'm going to go ahead and group it so that they stay together. Now with this copy, all the same settings are the same, so I don't need to go change the cut settings because I made a copy of it after I changed the cut settings. That's why it's so important to do that first. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sticker for what my daughter loves to do. So I'm going to change the color of the rectangle first. And she is a girly girl, so we're going to go with a purple. There we go. And so the nice thing about my girls is they both play lacrosse. And I am double lucky because every year that my kids have played lacrosse, they practice on the same days, at the same times, at the same fields. I am so beyond blessed, it's not even funny. So now that I've made that one, I'm gonna go ahead and group it. Okay, I'm gonna make another one for something for volunteer work. So because the copy is still on the clipboard, I'm just gonna have to choose paste again, and it'll paste another one. So I do a bunch of volunteer work, so I'm going to change this to yellow. And you can do the text first if you wanted to, or the color first, it really doesn't matter. Oops. And now I'm going to change my text. And I'm going to move my text so that it's more in the center of the sticker. All right, I got one for that. And I'm just going to group it. So the last one that I think I'm going to do one more, and that's for my boot camp class that I do. This will just help me keep myself focused. So I'm going to change that to a really bright pink because I like pink. All right, let me change that text. I like to schedule my workouts. I think it keeps me accountable and makes it so that I don't blow it off. All right, last thing I'm going to do is group that. All right, now you're saying, okay, great, we've got four planner stickers. What's that going to do? So I'm going to show you how you can easily replicate these so that you can fill an entire page of planner stickers. So I'm going to select the zoom to page right there. I'm going to move a couple of them out of the way and show you how to quickly replicate these. So let's take my first one, and I'm going to start here. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to choose the replicate tool. Now, what I want to do is replicate it to the bottom. So if you look over here on the left-hand side in the second row, there's rows and columns, and this is going to replicate it by 3, I think, or 4. So if I use this tool, the nice thing about it is that it lays them right on top of each other. So there's only going to be one line cut here instead of 2 lines being cut. So it kind of saves your paper and saves your silhouette. So I'm just going to keep going down until I fill a row, because that's how much my daughter has lacrosse. It's 2 practices a week, 1 to 2 games a week. Now, if you get down to the bottom and you've gone into your hashtag here where it's not going to cut, just go ahead and select the one that you don't want. All right, so I've got that one done. I'm going to take my other daughter's lacrosse and I'm going to place it right next to it. And I'm going to do the same thing. And so this is how you can easily replicate something. Because like I said, the planner stickers are something that you're going to want to choose something that's replicated often in your planner and in your life, really. And then you don't have to keep writing. You can just peel a sticker and go, which makes it nice. And it makes your planner look pretty if you use pretty colors and pretty designs. I've done these stickers in a different shape before. It's kind of up to you to get creative to do what you want to do. All right, one more. I probably have room for another sticker on here, but I'm just going to use this for now. All right, so now that we have that, I'm going to delete this last one because it's outside of the cutting range. What we're going to do is, well, first of all, make sure you save your design, just because you never know when your computer is going to crash in the middle of doing something. So I'm just going to name it Planner Stick. Okay, so now that we have everything saved, so the next step is to print this out and cut it. So you're going to want to select the print button right here. And you're going to want to make sure that your preset, whatever you use, some people use default. I use plain paper best because then it, usually my default for Silhouette, for some reason prints like it's printing a photo and it uses a ton of ink. And so I like to use plain paper best, and then it saves my ink. Okay, you're going to print it, and I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it. And you're going to send it to your printer. And then when you get ready to print, let me go take a step back. When you print it, what you're going to want to use is the Avery, you can use Silhouette sticker paper. I use the Avery 8165, and there'll be a link in the blog post to it. 8.5 by 11 shipping labels. It's the same thing as Silhouette. I can easily find it on Amazon or over at Office Depot if I happen to be out and about. And you want to print it on sticker paper so that you can peel it off, basically. So after you've printed on your sticker paper, you want to select send, and then you want to go to Material Sticker Paper White. And it will tell you that you want to use a blade setting of 2. If you have an older blade that you've been using for a while, bump it up to 3 and bump up your force and stick it to your mat and send it through your Silhouette. And then you will have easy planner stickers. So here is what the planner stickers look like when you're finished. You can see I've peeled off a couple. It cuts really beautifully with the Silhouette Cameo. And here is what it looks like in my planner. You can see I used a different shape just to show you that you can use whatever shape you want. So that's it. Thank you for watching. The link to the blog post will be in the comments here, and you can go and get a list of the materials that I used and links for where to purchase them if you'd like to purchase them. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.